Alan,
Hello.
introduce the guest. Introduce the
Hello,
guest, Alan.
everyone. No, how about you do the initial intro for this one, Naman, and then I'll follow your
All
lead.
right, all right, all right. I'm the guy in the chair today, and Alan is the interviewer, and he's going to introduce you to Jason Low, not Lou, Low. We discussed this, and uh, yeah, uh, Jason. Since I wasn't prepared for this one, can you introduce yourself? And he's
Yeah, hi, I am Jason Lowe. I'm a comic writer and artist. You might know my work from Marvel's Dazzler, Werewolf by Night, Undead Iron Fist, um, tons of other stuff. Spider Boy, list goes on.
wow. Okay, so now you see how is that's done, Alan. Now go
Yeah.
on.
Okay. Yeah, I'm taking notes. Well, so I'll just say first of all, thank you so much for coming and chatting with us. This is kind of a series celebrating AAPI creators in the comic book industry. It's been going on for I think this is the third or fourth year it's been going on. And I was a guest myself on the series a couple years ago when I was first getting started in comics, and I've since returned. I mentioned this to you in the email as well, but I've returned to sort of help out with the interviews as well. Um, and for me, even when when I just stumbled upon the series for the first time, I thought it was so special and cool to see this sort of highlight on the amazing Asian creatives working in the comic book industry. So yeah, today, it's going to be a very, informal, fun chat. And we just want to hear a little bit more about your journey and, your, insights for the community and all of that. So, I am very familiar with your work. I think your Dazzler series is maybe your first work that I read, which was awesome.
Thank you.
And yeah, I mean, bunch of questions I want to ask, but maybe to start with, because you're both an artist and a writer,
Mhm.
is that correct? Do you like identify like more like in one direction or the other, or are you like kind of balanced?
I try to promote myself as cartoonist, but I mean, these last few years, I've been comfortable just being a writer because I'm able to tackle on so many projects in a month. Whereas when you're an artist, you can only focus on that one book a month and maybe nothing else. So, um, but yeah, I always started out as a cartoonist ever since I was making my own comics in high school, my own mini comics, and selling them in school cafeterias and my friends' punk shows. Um, yeah, going to the local print shop, uh, and stapling them together, doing all that work, all the other work outside of the creative part that goes into making a comic. So yeah, cartoonist would encapsulate all of that.
Right. Yeah, and I definitely, what you said about like having like more like bandwidth to work on more projects as a writer, that definitely is something that resonates with me. I have so much respect for artists because as a writer, it just like the effort, the time that the artist has to put into each page is so much higher than what the writer has to put in. Um,
Absolutely.
but I think that also makes it all the more incredible that you can and do both. When the situation demands it, because I'm sure having like a hand in the artistic side of the process informs the writing of the comic as well, and vice versa.
Yeah, absolutely. There's times where, I'll write something in the script and there might be like two or three things happening in that script with multiple characters. And the editor or artist would be like, I don't understand what's going on. Like, there's so much going on in this one panel. And I'm like, Well, look, I broke it down to foreground, middle ground, and background. Like, and then I'm able to sketch it out for them and say, like, this is what I had in mind. But if you have something else, another approach, like, go for it. But like, hopefully, this is not too much to ask.
Yeah, no, it's great that you can like offer that sort of like instruction as well. For me, like I the best I can do is send little like stick figures sometimes for my layout suggestions, and I say, you know, good luck interpreting this.
Yeah, like I don't want to, like I totally understand. Um, Sometimes like I understand the frustrations on both sides as a writer and artist, and like I know sometimes artists can feel some resentment with a writer when they read something in the script that feels just too above and beyond, it's too much, or like they feel like the writer has no idea how to write a comic. Um, but for me, like I can visualize it in my mind, and just type in like the at least the bare minimum of what they need to know and what's going on in the foreground and the background. Um, and yeah, if they need any, if if there's any questions or concerns, I'm able to clarify it just with a simple sketch, um, just to give myself some credibility to say, look, I know what I'm talking about. I like that. Trust me on this. Like this will help with the story. That I know there's a lot going on, but like some of the small details that I have in the background is going to pay off. It's going to plant the seeds for what's going to happen later on. So I
Right.
like to add little Easter eggs here and there.
Like what are some of those Easter eggs that you've added?
Um, I guess like Dazzler might have some of them. I can't think of like things on the top of my head, but I know there are some clues that I've put like in earlier pages of an issue, that would give you a hint of who the culprit's going to be at the end of the issue.
Right.
Um, so yeah, just simple stuff like that, really.
You know, this
I
this is
Yeah.
sort of a tangent, but I think one funny thing about that sort of when you write like a little teaser or hint into the background, it's funny like how much more obvious it is like in the script stage, which like of course doesn't matter because that's not the final product. But you know, like when you're writing like a screenplay or even a comic script, like and you say like, oh, you know, like there's this you know, there's like this knife or like gun in the background and it'll be important later, that like once you're looking at the final thing, then like, you know, maybe people won't notice it, right? But when you're writing the screenplay, it's like they have to read the line, you know, that says, and there's like a gun in the background, you know, and
Yeah.
it's funny how like you can't like hide stuff like that as much at the
I,
screenplay or script stage.
and actually, yeah, you know what? Like, come to think about it, there was a lot of this in Werewolf by Night because this was my first Marvel series where I got to write about 10 issues. So I knew that I had issues ahead to tell a story. And yeah, there would be like a character or two that I would want to foreshadow in an early issue. And you know, I give the artist Sergio Davila uh, enough of an idea of what I want to see, and I tell him like this is we're planting a seed here, and this is going to pay off, and like we're working on issue 6. This is going to pay off in issue number 9, um, and we want to get the look just right. Otherwise, we're going to regret it in issue number 9 because you don't want it to look like Jabba the Hutt as he did in A New Hope, before the CGI, before the special edition, the live actor Jabba the Hutt, and then you realize when you reach issue number 9, oh yeah, no, this is a brand new looking Jabba the Hutt, fully realized, and then you had to like change the canon a bit. It's like, no, we gotta be very concrete with the seeds that we're planting.
Yeah, I think this is both like kind of like the beauty and like the risk or the challenge of this sort of like regular like episodic storytelling in comics, where it is so cool to set stuff and have it pay off. But because of just like how many months and issues there can be between the setup and the payoff, it's like it's easy for things to like become a little bit inconsistent, between those issues, or sometimes there's like events or like shifts in editorial or whatever that like necessitate like a pivoting of the story or certain elements. And I guess just the challenge of like keeping the ship steady like amid everything else that's going on is just part of what you sign up for as a comic creator.
Yeah, sometimes you have to work with like a fill-in artist, so you have to give them all the research, the reference material that was already established from the previous artist, to make sure it's cohesive with what we've done in the past. So.
Right. Something else I wanted to ask about, which is, I mean, you touched a little on kind of your origins already when you were making comics in high school, but I'm curious to know, is that like around the time that you started getting interested in, comics as a whole, or is it something that like, even when you were a kid, you were, you thought maybe comics was something that you wanted to pursue?
I always loved the comic medium ever since I was 4 years old, stepping into a convenience store and checking out the spinner racks, picking up Batman, Archie comics, G.I. Joe. They were all over the place. And
yeah, what happened? What happened to those days, huh?
Wait a second. Wait a second. You went back to spinner rack. How old can you be?
I am 40. I'm turning 44 this year.
Oh man, I thought you were.
Yeah.
I thought you're a young man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Wow. Okay. Spinner rack.
Yeah,
I think
80s kid.
spinner rack's gone what 30 years ago? Or is it?
Yeah, I think they were gone in the early 90s, and then they just put them in the newsstands with the magazines. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was during the death of Superman years. I remember.
Oh, yeah. Okay. What about you, Alan?
But
You had a spinner rack experience?
I mean, I have not had very many spinner rack experiences. Like, I mean, I had probably seen like one or two, but like I mean, like I feel like people kind of like complain these days about how like it's so much harder for like new audiences to stumble upon comics. Is like usually you have to go into the comic book store, or I guess you can find the collections in bookstores too. But what you were saying, Jason, is such like a organic example of like how kids get introduced to comics when you see them at those convenience stores or whatever. And it just I guess it's like a little bit more niche nowadays.
yes, pretty much. And then like fast forward to when I was 13, a friend of mine, he made his own comic. Like he just drew like 8 pages, and then he was able to collate them and fold them, photocopy them on a legal size paper, and made a mini comic. And he gave me a copy. It was, yeah, my friend Albert Kwan. Shout out to Albert Kwan, who gave me this book called Dairy Farmers of Ontario. It was very think Mystery Men, like this just low budget superhero.
And this was the eight pager your friend made when you were 13?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah, and I
I'm
was like,
impressed you
wait.
still know the name and everything.
Oh yeah, no, that was like the first comic that I knew a friend made, and I was like, wait, you made this? Like, it's possible that someone like me can do the same thing? And then I followed suit. Like, he told me all about like photocopying, like reducing the size of the page to fit on a letter or legal size paper, and then going to the photo uh, copier or photocopy shop and just print out as many copies and stapling them together and with a long stapler. Um, and then that's when I made my first comic, Local Heroes Comics, and it was also a bunch of um, um, just like very silly superheroes, like very offbeat superheroes, and it was also the very early iteration of the Human Lizard, which I later brought back after college and turned into the Pitiful Human Lizard. And yeah, that was a series that I worked on for about 5-6 years, an offbeat Toronto superhero series that I initially kick-started back in 2014, and issue number 1 came out. And during 2014, that was when we were in this Canadian superhero renaissance. We saw these. We saw the return of some Canadian comic legends like Captain Canuck and Nelvana of the Great White North and Johnny Canuck. And then you have my very indie offbeat superhero, the Pitiful Human Lizard, who is like the Spider-Man of this universe, but he's not amazing. He doesn't have Mary Jane. He's this working class, downtrodden superhero, just trying to do his best to be the superhero that the city needs. A very grounded story, and actually, I haven't worked on that series since 2019, but I'm bringing him back at Toronto Comic Arts Festival in June.
Oh, awesome! Like you were making a new comic with him, or
Yeah, a new. It's going to be the return of the Pitiful Human Lizard, and I already posted a little preview of that in my Instagram page.
That's incredible. I mean, it sounds
Yeah.
like it's the return of the Pitiful Human Lizard at this point. But
Pretty much.
it's so cool that you're bringing him back in these like different stages of your life and career, and just this one character and concept is kind of like evolving alongside you.
Well, a lot of fans asked for it. Well, whenever I'm at a convention, and I have like all these Marvel comics that are on my table, and my day one fans, they would always ask me, "Hey, like, do you have any new Pitiful Human Lizard comics? Man, I miss that guy. Like, hope you bring him back." It's like, sorry, I'm busy with Werewolf by Night, or I'm busy with
Busy with
Fist.
Dazzler, like
Yeah, Dazzler. But yeah, I think this is a good time to bring him back. And so far, people are excited to see him back. So yeah, I can't wait. Hopefully, there'll be more.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hopefully there won't be like as long of a gap this time
Yes.
until his next return. Well, you mentioned him being kind of like the Spider-Man of the universe, like among the other Canadian superheroes. Were you and other creators kind of like operating some sort of like shared universe, or do you just mean like like within, I don't know, the did you have your characters interact with each other and stuff like that?
We did. So for the first 5 issues of Pitiful Human Lizard, it was self-published by me before it got before I gave the distribution and printing license to Chapter House Comics. Chapter House was this publisher at the time that has the rights to Captain Canuck and a bunch of other Canadian superheroes. So yeah, we were all part of this shared universe. And yeah, like actor Jay Baruchel even wrote some Captain Canuck issues, and we set up this big event to have everyone team up against this one greater evil, and Human Lizard was in the thick of it too. So that was pretty neat.
Infinity War of Canada.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I'm seeing on the Wikipedia page that this comic was described as unapologetically Canadian, quintessentially unapologetically Canadian, which is high praise. I mean, I'm curious, like how does like the Canadian comic book scene compare with like the US one? I suppose.
Oh, wait, we got two questions. Wait, should I answer yours? I saw like.
Oh,
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we gotta prioritize the audience.
Yeah. So Duggan Jim 7202 asks, what comic writers do you think are some of your favorites growing up? I guess, yeah, Chris Claremont is definitely one of them because I was a big X-Men fan. Yeah, no, like hands down, Chris Claremont, especially when X-Men issue #1 came out in 1992. And then what else? Yeah, Frank Miller's Batman Year One. That was also pretty cool to see Batman in a very grounded tone. And then back in college, like I got into like checking out some indie comics, and Adrian Tomine of Optic Nerve, he was a big inspiration of mine. I love seeing his slice of life stuff. Actually, Derek Kirk Kim, speaking of slice of life, like same difference, like that was like he was also very influential back in high school. He also asks, do you have a go-to artist that you use for your own comics, or is it you drawing everything? When I can, I would like to draw the story, but you know, like depending on what the story is, I have a different artist in mind, and like right now, the series that's currently coming out on Marvel Unlimited that I'm writing, or that I wrote, Alien: The Friendliest Space Hugger. It's drawn by Goodman Yamada, who I also collaborated with, and this Disney Tokyo webcomic called It's a Small World with Groot. And yeah, he's just so fantastic. His art definitely fits the Disney brand. It's so cute and charming. So if I ever have like,
yeah, man, I think it's the first post on his Instagram here. If you want to just like.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go.
That one.
So Ricky.
Maybe put that on the big one. Definitely the cutest face hugger I've seen.
Yes. Ricky, I'm trying to his last name, Ricky Yagawa, is the cover artist of that. But yeah, Goodman Yamada, who did the second panel of that post, yeah, he's the interior artist of that series. And yeah, like he's been a dream come true. Whenever I get art in my email inbox. It's such a treat every time. I really have no notes to give him. He's very spot on capturing the whimsicalness that I want in a story. So whenever I have like a cute maybe type of like an anime type of story that I want to do, like I would think of Goodman Yamada to do it for me.
I have
Um,
a
yeah.
question.
hmm
When you're working with you're the writer and you're
hmm
right. How do they other artists deal with a writer who is also an artist?
Uh, I think they and maybe this is from my impression via email, but I feel like there is this level of respect that they know what I'm talking about when I'm writing a script.
Right, right,
Um,
okay.
so because they know that I'm an artist myself, I can draw it out. So
Do you
like
provide
something
them a
like
thumbnail sketch? Do you provide them thumbnail sketch?
you know like Goodman, I never needed to. Like he understood like
Hmm.
everything I wrote, which was fantastic. And yeah, it was just so easy working with them. Um, like yeah, Rafael Lorero, who's the Dazzler artist. Um, man, he's like I respect the artists that I work with because I know they draw way better than I do. So that's why they're the ones that are drawing it, and I'm just the one that's writing it. But at the same time, like we both understand the visual language, and that goes into making a comic. So yeah, there was a mutual respect between me and my artist colleagues.
Yeah, I was curious about that dynamic. Sorry, but this is really cool. Uh,
Yeah,
okay.
Goodman Yamada is like he's so kind to that. Like I've made some special requests for this series because there are some as we go down later in the series, there are some personal things that I put into that story, and I hope people will feel the same emotions as I felt writing the story.
Mm. Oh, that's cool. This is really cool. Cute.
It's gonna tug on your
I never,
heartstrings.
I never thought I would think alien is cute.
No, this is pretty much the first time, and you know it took a while for me and the editors and especially the people at 20th Century Studios to figure out the right tone that we want in telling the story. And this even went right before we decided on an artist. Like we wanted to know like are we going to see mutant mutilation? No, are we going to see human mutilation uh, in the story? And like, what's the tone going to be like? Like, how much are we going to pull back? Because after all, this is part of the Alien franchise where they are known for its gruesomeness. So, you know, we do want to treat the hardcore uh, Xenomorph fans with what they would expect in the Xenomorph series. But at the same time, like you know, you want to offer something a little bit different because yeah, this is something brand new that hasn't been done before, and man, again, high praise to Goodman Yamada because I just love his artwork and he's able to find the right balance
you
of
know,
cuteness and violence.
you
Yeah,
know.
it's
I'm sorry. Go
uh,
ahead.
oh no, I was just gonna say it's definitely a very exciting and fun and fresh premise. I this on Marvel Unlimited, right? Yeah, I don't have a subscription there currently, but I feel like for a lot of these series, they end up doing like a physical release sometimes as well. So I don't know if anything like that is in the
Fingers
works.
crossed.
Yeah.
Hopefully. There
But
is enough material for it to be its own book, so we'll see. Let's
do
see.
I saw its weekly releases. Has it been announced, like, I guess, like how long it will be running for, or is it like in
Uh,
like ongoing as of now, or?
for now, it will be 12 issues. 12 issues. We haven't really announced it, but yeah, we've already done 12 issues, and we'll go from there. If people like it enough for for us to work on more issues, we would. Uh, like we
Is
do have a direction to go with if we ever do a new chapter.
how different is the process or like the considerations for making a comic that is like intended for Marvel Unlimited as a web comic first, as opposed to something that's starting out as a physical comic?
Um, yeah, it's I
Like,
find it
is this a vertical scroll, or is it
it
still
is.
okay?
Yeah. Um, it's fairly easy, really, but like yeah, you got to keep in mind um like you're doing one panel at a time and they're all lined up vertically, and you can only do vertical panning shots. You can't do horizontal ones. Um, and yeah, I had my first um, I had my first work on it back in 2021 when Marvel Unlimited first came out, and they wanted to come up with some exclusive content for their app, and that was a vertical the Infinity comics. And my first comic I did was Lucky the Pizza Dog for to come out at the same time as the Hawkeye release on Disney Plus. And yeah, I got to write and draw and color everything. Um, no words, just this a simple, cute adventure of Lucky the Pizza Dog in New York City. And yeah, it was a cute experience, and it was a nice challenge for me just to tell a story in a different way. And that's the thing. Like as a cartoonist, I just want to tell stories, no matter what format it is. Just tell me what the parameters are, and I'll work within those boundaries, and see where I can try to push the envelope where needed or where I can. And yeah, like after Lucky the Pizza Dog, I was doing Lucky and Marvel Meow, and so which was a sequel where I got to play with the Marvel cats and Lucky the Pizza Dog, and then it evolved to um, all the Marvel pets, and I got to even do some X-Men Unlimited. And the more I worked on these vertical comics, I was learning along the way, so it was on the job training really.
Yeah, that's really cool. I guess, and I guess you're also building up a reputation as like being the go-to guy for those like cute or fun animal stories.
Pretty much, yeah. It's me and Kelly Thompson.
Yeah, I mean, seems like there's a healthy market of interest for that sort of content, which is good. Okay, let's see. I guess maybe we can circle back a little bit to the Canadian comic book scene, which I know very little about. So I'm just curious, like how does it compare? I guess to the U.S. like industry and space.
Well, first off, the pay rates are much lower.
That's a scary thing to hear, because I know
Yeah.
they're not exactly sky high in the U.S.
No,
either.
but we do have our health care, so we
Yeah.
don't have to pay for doctor's appointments and stuff. So that's good. So sometimes like working in the comic scene, especially when I was doing Pitiful Human Lizard, it was out of pocket. Like I would just pay through my own savings and then like sell enough comics to fund the production of the next issue. And that was when I was self-publishing it. Right before the license went to Chapter House, and they took care of the publishing and distribution of it, and that's when I just was able to focus on writing and drawing it. I actually had no pay rate. I just had I would just have X amount of comps, which would be like maybe 100 or 200 copies, so I can sell at conventions, and I would get a bit of royalties. It was something where like I really did it because I love to do it, and
for the love of the game.
The love of the game, and I was able to tell a much personable story, since Pitiful Human Lizard is kind of like me, to be honest. So that was pretty much my soapbox. And so to have Chapter House distribute it worldwide, it was a great way for my comic to get into the eyes of people around the world, which was pretty neat. Like I remember when this was like 2016, and yeah, Drake was really cooking. The Weeknd was really cooking. Like that's when like the States really paid attention to Toronto music scene. I was gonna say Arcade Fire, but they're from Montreal. But yeah, like I was walking down New York City, and I'll be hearing stores blaring The Weeknd and then Drake, and then I'd walk over to Midtown Comics and which one is it? In Midtown, and man, it's been a long while. Not the one on Grand Central Station. The one on 40.
The one that's like
42nd Street, or no,
Okay.
34th Street.
Yeah, I lived in New York for a while myself, so I think I know.
Times Square. That's what I was.
Times Square.
Yeah, that's the one. And then I saw my comic like Spotlight on their rack, and I was like, man, I made it. Like to see my comic, a Toronto superhero comic, get spotlighted on their rack.
Yeah,
that was such a cool feeling.
Times Square.
Yeah.
Nice. Wow.
I feel like I've gotten like an inkling of that feeling recently. I actually had my first direct market credit come out in stores just a month ago.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. It was a short horror comic in Oni Press's Cruel Universe, as part of the EC horror line that they've been doing for a year or two. And that was for me, that was my first time having something published that would be in stores and having people read them, and not because they like directly bought the comic from me, at a convention or whatever. So it was a weird feeling seeing like people that like I don't know like read a comic that I had something in, and just posting like reviews and such. It's a weird,
such a cool feeling.
Yeah, it's a weird but cool feeling.
Like when you're working on something in solitude, and then you see it in some form of celebration from readers that you don't know, it's such a good feeling. Like it definitely makes the time putting in that work alone worthwhile, really.
Yeah,
You're showing previews of Spider-Boy, and that was, man, like I feel so fortunate that I got to work with Dan Slott. We got to create a brand new villain together, the Puzzle Man. And Puzzle Man was actually a rehashed concept from like a very obscure Spider-Man comic in the 70s that I guess only Dan Slott remembered, and we did a redesign of them. So I made his jacket look like a prism Rubik cube, and
So we have
he
to
also has a question mark, and I was able to design all sorts of puzzles throughout that issue, which was a lot of fun.
solve the puzzle to understand the story.
Exactly. Yes.
that is really cool.
There's even an answer page. There's even an answer page.
So
That's
I mean,
had
like,
to make sure we got all the letters right.
Oh wow,
well,
okay.
what was the collaboration process for like the puzzles like? Was it kind of like you just like discuss like with Dan Slott like how you were going to make them work, or
Yeah, like so Dan Slott first off, yeah, Dan Slott like specially requested me to work on this type of issue
oh yeah,
because
that's awesome.
he remembered my first work I did that got me hired by Marvel, and the first work I did was, I mean, the work that got me hired by Marvel was this 2-page sample I did of Multiple Man, and it's a choose your own adventure story where you start off on one panel and it's Multiple Man breaking off into 5 different multiples and into 5 different dupes, and you're following 5 different paths in this 2-page spread where he's trying to complete this mission, this corporate espionage mission, blowing up a Hydra factory. And yeah, so Dan still remembered that, and I guess he wanted to find some way to work with this tinker with my mind on something unconventional, and yeah, that's what we did. We did this little puzzle book, and Dan would tell me, okay, I want this type of puzzle on this page. Like I want a maze in this one. I want a crossword in this one. He had like a rough idea of like what the answers should be, and then I would design it. I would try to like figure out how to put that on the page to make it cohesive with the comic visual language. And yeah, that was a lot of fun, to be honest, to do it with this Dan Slott. Like,
Yeah, that
so
sounds incredible, because I mean, I think this is kind of an example of what you were saying earlier about pushing the envelope as a cartoonist and finding like unique and creative stuff to do with the medium. Like I mean, this like it looks and sounds just mind blowing to me, and it's just one of the many amazing things you can do in comics.
I wish we could do more of them.
You're definitely having fun with this. I could tell.
Yeah. Yes.
And I think it's also like very like inspirational that you can kind of point to the direct through line of this work that you did and how it kind of directly led to the opportunity to do something like along the same lines. Like because in comics, like there are all these questions about like how we can break in as writers and artists, and it is challenging, but I guess what it always comes down to is that we have to like do the thing
Do the work.
that we want to be hired to do more of. And
Exactly.
this is such a good example of like, because that 2-page comic, like you did that as like a fan comic, is that correct?
Just a fan fiction, yeah. Just to show my portfolio, like this is I'm capable of telling a story, and I can get things done on time. And
clearly a success, and it's just a testament to like how as aspiring creators just have to like get those portfolio pieces, like put that work out there, and I guess it's also important for those samples to be like in the vein of like the work you want to do, right? Like because like you said, like Dan Slott saw like this like special unique thing you did, and then he requested you for like a similar project. And so it's like, yeah, you have to put stuff out there that is like what you want to be remembered for.
Exactly. Yeah, like that's like the greatest advice I can give, especially when I'm asked like, how do you break into comics? Like you have to make your own comic first. You got to tell your own story. Like you have to show the editors that you can actually do the work, because you're not just going to hire you just by some thought that you have. Like the number of emails I get of people that would send me unsolicited ideas for comics, and it's like, good luck, but also you got to fix your grammar, and like this is not a great example of how to break into comics. Like you got to do the actual work yourself.
Right.
This is a really nice webpage. You designed
Thank
this?
you.
Or?
Yeah,
You designed it. Oh wow, okay. It's a really good way to
try to make it user friendly, for people to scroll through and just have a nice time reading about the Pitiful Human Lizard.
So many different ways to interact with it.
Yeah.
Putting that design experience to good use.
Exactly.
So you're a writer, you're an artist, webpage designer.
Well, I mean, it's like Jason said, like Cartoonist really just like it encapsulates it all.
Yeah. Now, you ever thought about doing webtoons? The Korean
I would love
medium?
to. I would love to. Like I already have a Marvel Infinity portfolio. I've given them my contacts, so hey,
just waiting for the call.
Just hit me up. Yeah, like I would be happy to tell a story. Just let me know.
Brian is he's a comic book creator, also writer also. So there's a lot of creative people that's on this chat. So they got some learning to do here.
Yeah, like Brian, you're spot on. Like you have to believe in the story that you're telling. You have to have that passion, that drive to tell that story. And like before I got hired by Marvel, before I got to play in the cool sandboxes, I was self-publishing it on my own. I was giving myself my own deadlines to make sure I got the comics on time myself, to prove that if I ever got the call to get a comic done in 1 month, I can do it. And lo and behold, when I'm working with Marvel, sometimes they would give me like just 1 week to do like a fill-in on Amazing Spider-Man, or 1 week to do a variant cover, or even 1 month for that Spider-Boy issue.
So all that self-imposed training came in handy.
Exactly. You have to be ready. just like that wrestler, Matt Cardona. He has a saying that says "always ready," and it's on his trunks. It's like, exactly. You always have to be ready, because you never know when the call will come, and that's a great opportunity to do something you love and make money.
Yeah, I see. We got another question from Brian, but I just want to quickly mention. You reminded me. I think there's a saying that's like luck is when opportunity meets preparation. I think, and that's one that's always stuck with me because sometimes people kind of like they'll like express frustration about how like it's required to get a lucky break to to move forward in the comic book industry or any industry, and I think that's true, but also like when it comes to luck, like you have to be ready for like when the opportunity presents itself.
Exactly, 100%. So yeah, Brian's question: if Jason could only do one, which would it be, writing or drawing? So I'm going to be 44, and I know as I get older, when I'm working on a 20-page comic, it feels like a marathon, especially when you're trying to pencil 20 pages in 2 weeks, and then you're trying to ink those 20 pages the next 2 weeks after that. I don't know if I can have that in me when I'm like in my 50s or 60s. I feel much more comfortable writing, even though it takes a pay cut from being an artist.
Oh, really?
So
Artists make more money?
Artist makes way more money, and
Really?
it's deserving because of the hours spent on drawing out a page. It's very well deserved. Like they should be paid more than double.
Right. I mean, I think honestly, like writers probably have like a better like effort to like payout ratio, right? Just in terms of like how much like time you're putting into the page, like based like versus the rate.
Right.
And writing, there is a lot of research that goes on. Actually, like the thing like about writing is there is a lot of research, a lot of prep work before it gets into before the first issue gets into the hands of the artist. But I do love writing because it is a lot of fun doing all that research. And research can come in a form of reading comics and reading different types of novels out of your wheelhouse, watching movies that are not in your wheelhouse as well. So yeah, I'm leaning more towards writing, but I do love drawing. It's just that like I know as I get older, like you get a bit more rusty. You're not as good as you used to.
And especially for like monthly comics, I know that's like drawing for that especially is such a brutal grind.
And knowing like the high caliber that's already out there, like I know like my art is suitable for different types of stories that are maybe more for like the independent scene and not for like the mainstream Marvel or DC. So I totally get that. Like I know my limits. So
right. Let's see what else. I guess you already offered your most important advice for newer creators, but aside from the importance of doing your own work and putting it out there, do you have any other advice you would offer for either writers or artists?
Yeah, okay. Like I'd say if you want to be a good comic professional, whether it's being a writer or artist, you got to know the other business side to the comics, the stuff outside of writing a script or the stuff outside of drawing a page. Like I'm talking about like focus, like managing your finances and managing like your income taxes,
The grown up business.
all the grown up stuff. Like it kind of bewilders me at times, like when I meet other comic professionals, they're really good at what they do as an artist or writer, but when it comes to like other things, like just organizing like other like adult tasks,
taxes and such.
like yeah, just the business side of things. Like yeah, like people need to be on top of that. So that's another thing to consider, because
That's good advice. I feel like that's kind of like the advice that like people we like don't want to hear necessarily, but like it's like that's like all makes it all the more important. You know, it's like you got to like eat your vegetables.
Here's the thing: in comics, there is no pension, there is no benefits. So when you're 60 or 70 and you're too old to write or draw, where's your income coming from? Like, you better have something prepared. You better have like an investment plan ahead. You gotta like think about your future.
This is something that's really wild to me, because I have a little bit of experience like in the film and TV industry as well. And as brutal as it is for creatives out there, like there are unions, for a lot of the major roles, and so for writers is the WGA, and as difficult as it can be to to get enough work, to get your health insurance and pension and all that, like there are like some mechanisms for that. And so when I'm not broken in as a screenwriter, but like because that was the world that I was more familiar with, and I was like moving. Well,
I was WGA.
Oh, I was just saying, like with the WGA, there at least are like those mechanisms for writers like having healthcare and pension and things like that. And so when you like comparing like comic book artists and writers to that, and they're just seemingly like is nothing, it seems very I don't know, like frightening and kind of unfortunate by comparison.
And the thing is, like, the world is just getting much more harsher to the middle, lower class, to the working class. So like we have to take care of ourselves. Things are just gonna be harder for us, especially with inflation. Like, be prepared for the worst. Like, know when to save money for when an accident comes. Like, have at least 5 figures prepared when the worst happens, so that way when that comes by surprise, you're not in debt by a 5-figure health bill, medical bill. Like, just be prepared. Like that's where I've been telling some of my friends too, because yeah, like, we're young, but like you look at the comic professionals, like you look at Bill Mantlo, the creator of Rocket Raccoon, and that the story of him, he had an accident. He was in a hospital bed during the release of Guardians of the Galaxy, and they had to have a GoFundMe campaign for to raise for his medical expenses. And yeah, like, that is the harsh reality that we have to.
I've seen some of the discourse where it's like like absolute legends of the industry, and you see them like crowdfunding their medical bills, and it is very unfortunate.
So yeah, it's really like, I don't like, there's very few people in comics, like, once you reach that certain age, be to live a modest life, to live like just a decent life, with like where they don't have to worry about paying rent or like,
Right,
everything's
it's like
taken
it
care of.
like it should, it's like it should, it's not even asking for that much necessarily, but it's rarer than it should be to achieve even that level of stability.
Yeah. So yeah, I just want to hit aspiring creators with that harsh reality. Just be prepared. Be prepared.
Yeah, no, that is very, very important advice for sure. I see it's 8 p.m. now, so we can kind of like start shifting toward wrapping up, just so you know we don't run into the 8:30 deadline for you. But I definitely have a couple more questions.
Yeah.
I want to ask if we have time. One is, I mean, this is kind of general, but like, because this is AAPI Heritage Month and all that. Like, how do you feel about like the state of like AAPI representation in Western comics right now, and is that something that has like changed meaningfully in the last like 10 years or so that you've been working in the industry?
I feel like it can always be better. I think there was a time when Marvel Voices had a more prominent presence in the industry, and that was great to see. That was a good opportunity. Actually, come to think of it, like this month is the release of a Jubilee book under the Marvel Voices flag.
Yeah, I really want to check out that book as well, because I think it's written by Jin Young and drawn by Michael YG, I believe.
Yeah.
You mean look for something?
No, I think.
But yeah, that's a one-shot comic that will just it comes out because of AAPI month. But like I wish we didn't need to have a reason to have Asian representation comics. I wish.
Right, like they should just be a thing that come out more regularly.
It should, yeah, seriously. But yeah, like I just wish there were more, to be honest. And I think that the cool thing that I get to do Pitiful Human Lizard is, I get to do it on my own and say, hey, if I can't see enough Asian superheroes, I'm just going to work on my own Asian superhero, and that's Pitiful Human Lizard. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this just goes back to kind of goes back to what we were saying about, doing the work that you want to do, doing the work that you want to see. And I mean, it's a goal of mine as well to try and, put more like Asian representation out there, both in terms of the stories and, highlighting creators like yourself as well. So, we've talked about the Alien comic and, the upcoming return of Pitiful Human Lizard as well. Aside from those, do you have any announced work in the next few months that you might want to give a quick shout out to here?
No, actually, there's be announced for a long while, but actually this week is the release of the Age of Revelation omnibus trade, and that's where you'll find my X-Avengers miniseries that I got to write. Inside, it's a broken Avengers team made up of Danny Moonstar, who takes up the reign of the leader of the Avengers, who are now mutants. So you have a six-armed Hawkeye, you have a water-form Black Widow, and you have a volcanic explosive Shang-Chi. I wrote X-Avengers as if this was going to be my last Marvel comic, so might as well throw in all the characters I never got a chance to work with. And I always wanted to work on more Shang-Chi. So yeah, there you have it. Like that, I got to use Shang-Chi in that miniseries.
And this is part of that future like Revelations timeline, right?
Yeah, this dystopian future universe where the world is hit by an X virus, and anyone infected by the X virus either become a mutant or perish. So
Ooh.
the surviving humans are really hating on the mutants on that world, and the X-Avengers are the ones trying to find that middle ground and be the protector of both parties while being hated by the humans.
So I have a question. Do you have a do you happen to have a merch store?
I don't. I used to, but
Okay.
the thing is, I hate lining up at a post office. And
Exactly me. That's me.
I like for people to find me at conventions, make the trip to Toronto to see me, or some Ontario. That's where I'll do my signings. So I'll be at Toronto Comic Arts Festival and the Anatomy Athletic Center. Acronym is TCAF for Toronto Comics Arts Festival. There's going to be a lot of great guests. I'll be there. My friend Ryan North will be there. Hundreds of other people.
I love Ryan North. Just he's one of my absolute favorite comic book writers.
He's such a cool dude. He's such a good guy. Yeah, we got to tour. We got to tour India together when we were guests at a Comic-Con, and
that's awesome.
And yeah, no, he's such a good dude. We're also big fans of this Toronto mystery TV series called Murdoch Mysteries. I don't know if you guys heard of that, but
I'm not familiar with that one.
The actor Jason Mewes, do you know Jason Mewes of Kevin Smith fame? You know, Jay and Silent Bob, the Jay and Silent Bob. He hosts a podcast about Murdoch Mysteries. And yeah, it's such a great show, featuring Toronto in the early 19th century, and now it's starring Paulson Young Lee, another good friend of mine who is you might know him from Kim's Convenience, and he's also in The Mandalorian as Carson Teva. And maybe you might see him in Mandalorian and Grogu. I don't know. We'll see. But maybe. Because, I mean, Carson Teva's friends were in that trailer. So it's most likely. We'll see.
We'll see.
Cool.
And when is TCAF? Did you mention?
Yeah, that's June 6th and 7th. Let me just check my calendar. That should be a Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, June 6th and 7th at the Anatomy Athletic Center, which was the old Maple Leaf Gardens for the true Toronto historians.
Cool. Any other conventions lined up beyond that, or is this?
Fan Expo Canada in August.
So, not coming to a stateside anytime soon, huh?
Not for a while. We'll see.
Yeah, probably a wise choice.
Yeah, I didn't even go last year, and the thing is, I always love going to New York Comic Con. That's one of my favorite conventions. That's where I get to meet all the comic colleagues I got to work with from around the world, even my Marvel editors. But yeah, to miss out last year because I didn't want to get detained by ICE, and
fair. More than fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, look at me. Look. This is just enough.
Yeah, I guess yeah. Fans
we're
will
not
have
part
to come.
of it there on here.
Yeah.
Fans will have to come to Canada to either see you or get your merch
Exactly.
for the time being.
Yeah.
All right. This
Yeah.
you know we've been broadcasting on IG also.
Wicked.
Yeah, I think we can sort of wrap up here. I think we covered the questions. I mean, unless you have like anything else you wanted to say or shout out in particular.
No. Yeah, just follow Alien, the Friendliest Space Hugger on Marvel Unlimited. You can find me on Instagram at Jason Loo Makes Comics, and that's where you'll find some news of my work that I'm currently working on.
Yeah, I
just gonna
believe
have to wait.
I believe we have your social media info on screen here, and I think we'll be able to get it in the video description as well. So hopefully everyone will follow Jason and see more of his upcoming work. And thank you to everyone for watching. We'll see you very soon tomorrow for Cliff Chang's interview.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.